What's going on, Tech Feed? Welcome back to another episode of Technobuffalo's Driven. I'm your host, Jon Rettinger. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. We're going to talk about Henrik Fisker returning to Fisker Automotive. We're going to talk about VW's crazy XL1. And we're going to throw in a little bit of Corvette Stingray news in there for good measure. This Technobuffalo's Driven. Let's get started. So let's start with Fisker Automotive. It's no secret that they've been staring the bankruptcy demons in the face for months now, but it looks like the prodigal son, Henrik Fisker, might be angling to make a dramatic return to the company that bears his name. So according to Reuters, Henrik Fisker has teamed up with Hong Kong billionaire Richard Lee to offer to purchase the company's outstanding U.S. Department of Energy's advanced vehicle loan for just a fraction of its $171 million balance. The company was originally loaned $192 million, but $21 million was seized last month by the DOE. But there's also some competition to acquire what's left of the company. So also according to Reuters, there are at least two different investor groups interested in the company, but the DOE loan must of course be addressed before the automaker can ever be revived. So satisfying the federal loan also helps make Fisker Automotive more attractive to potential buyers, but it still leaves outstanding debt for suppliers. So there's debt left and right. So in order for any deal to happen, the DOE would have to sell the loan to cut its losses against the crazy strong odds of it being repaid ever in full. Although it'd only be recovering really just pennies on the dollar, so that's tax money well spent. So while the Fisker Elite Group has reportedly offered to buy the loan for between 25 and 30 million, another group led by Chinese automaker Wongsang Group and Bob Lutz have teamed up to offer to buy Fisker for 20 million in prearranged bankruptcy. So the second investor group is likely working on a different angle. So remember, it was Lutz who unveiled the Corvette ZR1 powered VL Automotive Destino at the Detroit Auto Show early this year. Essentially, they took the Karma body and they put in a freaking giant Corvette engine in it, slotched out the logo and made it look ridiculously awesome. So whatever's gonna happen is yet to be seen. It looks like something's going on at Fisker. It really goes to show the difference of two companies. So Fisker can be bought presumably for 20 to 25 million. Tesla just repaid their entire DOE loan 9 years early with interest. The interest they paid on that loan was $20 million. So it's kind of interesting to see how both companies went just straight like this. And they were actually kind of linked together. Henrik Fisker was originally hired to design what ultimately became the Tesla Model S, but left to start Fisker Automotive. They were engaged in lawsuits back and forth for a while. So it's kind of fun to look back and see how things have changed. But one way or another, it looks like Fisker is going to have a new owner. Personally, I'm hoping that Henrik comes back in and retakes control of the company he left, citing managerial differences with the board of directors. But we'll see what that's going to look like. But one way or another, don't plan on buying a Fisker the next few years. Save you money. Alright, so let's bring back an old friend of the show. Remember that crazy looking Volkswagen XL1 we saw a few months back at Geneva? If not, don't worry, let me refresh your memory. It's the diesel hybrid concept that gets a freaking crazy 261 mpg. So Volkswagen's been spinning some crazy stories about the car. First, it was just a concept, and then it was going to production, but just in Europe only. Then it was probably headed to the US, and now in the latest tale of I don't know, maybe, we're hearing that it will be coming to the US, but not to buy. They'll be adopting the lease-only model we see in crazy econo cars like Honda's FCX Clarity and the now defunct EV1. So the folks at Auto Blog Green got a hold of VW America's manager and product technology communications, Mark Gillies, who said, and I quote, "It'll most likely be a lease scheme. Either way, it's going to be freaking crazy expensive. The car has a sticker price, presumably if you could buy it, upwards of $200,000. So you're gonna be spending a ton of money to save a few miles on gas. You might want to look to spend your money elsewhere. But it does look crazy cool, and to be able to drive across the country on one tank of gas presumably could be pretty neat. But 261 mpg is awesome. Hopefully it's really a production version of a concept car, and maybe we'll see that technology filter down eventually to lower rung Volkswagen models. Don't forget, Volkswagen Group also a huge owner and part of Audi, Porsche, and several others, so maybe we'll see some MPG-ness filter down to those brands sometime soon. So let's jump from the green cars to the fast cars. You thought you knew everything about the 2014 Corvette Stingray? Think again. So So despite the fact that General Motors has already pulled off the wraps off the highly anticipated Corvette C7 Stingray in both coupe and convertible forms, there's still a lot we don't know about the freaking hot and gorgeous coupe. So when this first was announced, the General said, and I quote, "The Vet's new 6.2 liter LT1 V8 would put out an estimated 450 horsepower, 450 foot-pounds of torque," which makes the numbers really easy for journalists like us to remember. But some PDF scans found by the folks at the Corvette 7 forum site show that the Stingray coupe might actually throw down 455 horsepower and 460 foot-pounds of torque, increases of 5 horsepower and 10 foot-pounds over the original numbers, and gains of 25 horsepower and 36 versus the car's current 6.3 liter LS3 V8. Those numbers are usually increases you see from model year to model year, but it looks like GM may have found a way to wring some extra performance out of their Halo car. If these PDF scans are to be believed, it looks like only the coupe will benefit from the slightly more powerful setup, as similar spec lists for the Corvette Stingray convertible states that the drop top will make 450 and 450 foot-pounds accordingly, which is spot on with the original estimates that GM told us. So official fuel economy numbers are still unknown, though GM has previously stated that the Vet is expected to improve upon the current car's EPA rankings of 26 mpg. So we fully expect the official numbers to be revealed sometime this year, because the car is coming this year, so we'll know everything soon enough. But what we do know is that the car is gorgeous. I had a chance to see one on the road at a test ring, and it is stunning. It looks like some of the beautiful Italian cars that we see Ferrari and Lamborghini put out. This guy is just absolutely gorgeous, and I'm excited that it's coming from a US company, and I can't wait to drive one. Hopefully we'll get our hands on one next episode of Technobuffalo Driven, or at least one in the near future. So thank you guys for watching the episode of TB's Driven. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe right here to get the latest tech news from your favorite YouTubers. I am Jon Rettinger, and I will see you in the next video.